There's a lot of people out there going, X woke game failed because of X woke message. And while it's true on the surface, there's so many other reasons why such a game failed. And the biggest reason is AAA gaming has failed to scale. What do I mean by this? Back in the day, we used to get from the same group of people who created the game more than one game a year. Now you could say, but that's because they were using more simplistic graphics, more simplistic technologies and stuff like that. But the truth is, it just failed to scale properly. There is no reason why a game should take 6 years to make, 5 years to make, because the same game could be made in a year. Same game could be made by one person over a couple of months. They've done it. They've remade games in the past, like Simpsons Hit and Run on the Unreal Engine and stuff like that. There's so many ways you can make games. But the problem is, AAA gaming has failed to scale. And what do I say when I say fail to scale? It means they have more people working on the game, but they're not effectively working on the game to create the game faster or more effective. Instead, what they're doing is reversing the optimization and making it more redundant and less optimized, and so it takes them longer to make a game. And the main reason for this is the high amount of turnover in the video gaming industry. You have people that are constantly quitting left, right, and center because they get a better job here, they decide that they're burnt out there, they just don't like video gaming anymore, or they never liked video gaming to begin with and got into the industry through some other illicit means, such as gaming journalism's going over into writing paths for video games. They got there through connections, but they didn't actually have the skills to actually write anything of worth in the first place, as proven by their video gaming journalism practices and finances. So when we think about scaling up a video game, you go, well, alright, we can probably make textures faster if we ship this texture work out to this studio. But the moment you do that, you're removing the creative process from those texture creation. And so now you ship it out. They then make the texture, they ship it back to you, and you go, no, that's all wrong. You have to ship it back out to them, and they have to remake the texture all over again. And that process repeats several times. And this also happens in internal studios where you have, well, we need to train up our new entry-level developers. Let's put them on the texture creation process path, and let's make them make random textures, and hopefully they'll make something good and they'll get better. And so they do this. But they obviously make it wrong because, well, they're junior developers. They don't know what's good, what's bad yet. They're still trying to learn it in their own way. And of course they fail. And so this repeats the process of delaying the texture processes being done. Now you could say, well, a game doesn't need textures to be, to do the gameplay stuff. But when you look at making gameplay, it's very hard to ship out a sector of gameplay to a different company to make it be made by someone else. So say you're trying to make the perfect jump for Mario, for instance. You try to ship that off to some other company, say they make Sonic games, and you have Mario for some reason jumping like Sonic and doesn't have any of the right momentum that Mario would have. So you can't really ship out gameplay aspects to a different studio because they'll inevitably get it wrong. Or if they do get it right, it'll be right for them, but not for the actual product itself. So you can't scale making gameplay decisions. You can't scale sending out textures. So what can you scale in development? Well, you go, well, maybe I can scale mission progress. What if someone can just make, quests for us, like side quests? And so inevitably, what sort of side quests are they going to make? They're going to make pretty asinine fetch quests. And that's why 90% of open world gaming or AAA gaming is fetch quests. You go up to some guy and they go, hey, we need you to get this. And you go, why? We need you to get this. And you go, okay, fine. And so you go off and you go do that and then you come back. And it's very self-contained. Like you could just literally cut it from the game and the game would be better because it's just pointless bloat. So you can't scale side questing out either. You just can't send it off to a different company because they'll either just make a basic bitch fetch quest or they'll make something that doesn't quite fit with the tone of the rest of the game. And this is where the major problem is with AAA gaming is we cannot scale AAA gaming. It's a huge hurdle. It's terrible. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is obviously stop making so fancy looking games. Stop making so complicated gameplay decisions. Simplify everything. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It's the most important thing that AAA gaming needs to learn. They need to stop thinking about these tertiary things like woke agendas, making their game specifically for a specific audience, making everyone feel welcomed and accompanied and, equality and all that crap. Get rid of all that. Keep it simple. Just make a simple game, Mario jumping, going from the left of the screen to the right of the screen, and make it as fast as possible. You don't need these bloated $250 million budgets because you're shipping out half the processes to other companies to then ship it back to you and say, nah, that's wrong, and then ship it back out to those companies and then redo it all over again. Because that's currently what is happening. And it's really, really bad for the industry because you're getting all these people that are learning the wrong things from their jobs. So you get all these junior developers going, Fetch Quest is the pinnacle of gameplay design and quest narration. It's just not good. And you have all these writers thinking, we need to have all this agenda stuff in our writing, otherwise people are going to be upset with our writing for not being inclusive enough. I'm like, no, we don't want that. What we want is, real basic simple. Hey, I'm the hero. I'm going to defeat the Demon Lord. To defeat the Demon Lord, I need to get some friends. My friends are now together, and they're just normal people like me, and we're going to defeat the Demon Lord together. We defeat the Demon Lord. Hooray, And if you want to do some political stuff, don't make it specific political stuff. Make it like vague as in, this country, they oppressed their people with overt slavery. But it turns out their overt slavery was because of some Cthulhu-like eldritch horror forcing them to do such slavery. If we defeat this Cthulhu horror, we can then save this town. Something like that. It's very political. Slavery bad. It turns out they weren't slavers because they wanted to be slavers. We beat the real evil instead. And that way you're not specifically targeting any group or Zionist. It's simple. You don't need to go crazy. So that's what's happening in AAA gaming. That's why it's so bad. And it's also why budgets have bloated out to the extreme. Because they have failed to scale. Can video gaming actually scale? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. I think just, stop making the fanciest graphics in the world. Stop making the most complicated gameplay design decisions in the world, like adding RPG systems to Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. No one cares about 5% damage on a Tuesday afternoon. What we care about is 5% more damage when we level up, and we level up by killing 500 people. It's pretty simple logic. You don't need to have itemization for RPG mechanics, just have level up for RPG mechanics. It's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Alright, see you later.